organization that films student videos.
Okay.
And we're here to ask you some questions.
All right.
So what I'm curious about is in one of your most famous tracks, Turned Out For What, you say 12 distinct words, right? And do you think that saying less is more for something like that?
Well, the song just needed to hype up the drop. The drop was the most important part of the song. So literally as soon as I went in the booth, I immediately said Turned Out For What. So I knew that like immediately. But the other words, it took me the longest time to write. So they didn't matter as much. The most important part was Turned Out For What, because that doesn't drop. But that was like one of the first songs of its time to be played on the radio with no verses. It was only, like you said, 12 words in the entire song, said a couple times, and the radio was first resistant to play that. But I think it worked because it fit for the song. So I think in that case, less is more. They call you who?
Yes, sir. They do indeed. But yes, you grew up in Atlanta, late 80s, early 90s. Punk scene was huge there. I have a very odd question, but did you ever get to see a show at the Metroplex?
I was at the Metroplex a couple times.
Who did you get to see?
I saw Faith No More there. I think it was Faith No More, and I can't remember who else, but I used to go every now and then, and that was like the realest punk club you could ever. That was like being in a New York punk club, but it was in Atlanta. It was right by the railroad tracks. I don't even think they had a liquor license or anything. It was all ages, and it got shut down because it was like they weren't abiding by the rules. But it was the real, authentic, like the scariest mosh pit you would ever be in. But when you go to a real punk club, when you went in those days, if someone fell, nobody stomped on you or nothing. They picked you up. That's what the essence of a real punk club was. But yes, Metroplex is it's like an urban legend. And I met a guy, his family owned it. And I think he still got like old flyers and stuff from there. But yes, I went to the Metroplex in the 80s. How do you know about it?
So I used to be huge into I used to be in punk band in high school. We were not good, mind you, but
I wasn't good at my band either.
no, we got to research a little bit.
Right.
So I was watching like an old tape of that Burton show there.
And at the Metroplex?
Yeah, the Metroplex. They
Wow.
played I think 89, 90, but yeah, I don't know. I'm just curious.
I'm going to have to Google that, see if I can find that.
Yeah.
But I was definitely at the Metroplex. I remember distinctly it was Faith No More when they had the black lead singer. And I remember being there, and they had a second story balcony, and I remember people jumping off the balcony into the pit. And then they had like some scaffolding on the side of the stage. People would climb up and jump off of that too. It was the wildest stuff I'd ever seen. It was the authentic underground that you can get punk.
Would you say that influenced your music like that?
Yeah, HR from Bad Brains, the punk music in general, skater. I used to listen to a lot of skater punk music. I got into punk music from skateboarding.
Yeah.
So that's how I learned about skating. But yeah, HR from Bad Brains, I patterned a lot of my, when I first started performing, I wanted to be like HR. Because he was like the wildest person you could ever see on stage. And that's my favorite band of all time is Bad Brains.
No kidding.
And I know the guys too.
I do not personally.
So I think this is going to be our last question. So my question to you is, for someone that wants to get in and they want to make music and they want to get out there, what is your best advice?
You gotta be patient. And you gotta be able to accept criticism, because sometimes artists think just because they made a song is good. And that's not always the case. It's gonna take time for you to get better and better. And if you really want to do it, you gotta stick with it and keep making music. Because every time you go in the studio and make a song, or every time you make a song, you're gonna get better and better and better. So that's it.
Thank you.
All right.
Pleasure to meet you, sir.
All right, who?
Yes, sir.
Big Soup.
Blazer broadcast on your